back to Los Angeles. Welcome to the 2024 National League Championship Series on FS1, presented by Loan Depot. Dodger Stadium, Game 6. The Mets trying to keep this dream season going another day. Well, the Dodgers try to finish the job and set up a date with the New York Yankees. We welcome inside the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. I'm Joe Davis, and the plot for this Game 6, a fascinating one. You've got Sean Manaea for the Mets trying to beat this star-studded Dodger lineup for the second time in this series. And the Dodgers, one win from the World Series, go with the stress of a bullpen game.
Well, the Mets have enjoyed chaos all year. Well, they're going to get chaos with the pitching staff because it's unconventional against conventional. And what I mean by that is the Dodgers are going to go with the bullpen. And 3, 4, 5, or 7 guys are going to have to get it done for the Dodgers, whereas the Mets are going to stay with their starter as long as they can. What the Dodgers have done, well, against the Padres in elimination game, they were perfect. 0 earned runs. But then in Game 2 against the Mets, it didn't go quite as well. It was clunky. That's the rub on these type of games. They either look magical and great, or they don't look so good.
And you know, pretty quickly on, you can say that about all these games in this series. Alex was talking about it during the pregame show. Score first, win the game. And especially with the decisions on the manager's plate, you score early in this game, that's going to put extra pressure on those guys.
It really is. It's hard to believe we haven't had a save opportunity in this game. It's hard to believe a lot of things haven't happened in this series. But it's mainly because of the offense. And each team has made the necessary adjustments to jump out and then keep the lead with a lot of room to spare. So which team does this best today? Of course the Mets want a Game 7, and the Dodgers are doing everything they can to avoid it.
Well, we know it's going to be the New York Yankees. Will the Dodgers finish the job and join them tonight, or will the Mets do it yet again, stave off elimination, and force that Game 7?
Miracle Mets. You gotta believe. Amazins. However you want to phrase it, for New York, this journey has been another chapter in a history of magical runs.
Mets magic still alive.
The Mets magic is real.
More Mets magic.
On to LA for Game 6.
In Los Angeles, this is the expectation.
If we don't win the World Series, I do think it's a failure.
The Dodger way.
The impossible has happened.
One win from the pennant, but the aspirations are higher.
He's not happy until the title is won.
Game 6 of the NLCS. Next.
And a scene fit for a postcard and a day fit for it too. 76 degrees for Game 6. And before first pitch, down to Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, Dave Roberts essentially conceded Games 2 and 5 to preserve his top relievers. Still, in his own words, he needs to thread the needle tonight. His decision to start Michael Kopech speaks to his urgency. Mets hitters off Kopech are combined 0 for 21 with 7 walks. The Dodgers want to set an immediate tone, take an early lead, and then roll out their high-leverage relievers with Blake Trinan and Evan Phillips each available for 2 innings. Roberts' choices, however, become more difficult if the Dodgers fall behind. The more he asks of his top relievers tonight, the more he risks them not being at their best in a potential Game 7 tomorrow. Now, over to Tom Verducci.
Thanks, Ken. October baseball. You know, sometimes it's about navigating uncharted waters, and that's exactly where Sean Manaea is tonight. He has thrown 198 2/3 innings this year, a career high, and 81 innings beyond what he threw last year. Now, in Game 2, he admitted he hit a wall after about 80 pitches, and Mets manager Carlos Mendoza said he will watch him even more closely tonight, knowing that Manaea is taking the ball for a 36th time, a place he's never been before. Joe.
All right, Kenny and Tom. The New York Mets coming to the plate with an offense that scored 9 runs the first 4 games of this series, then exploded for 12 of them to keep their season alive in Game 5. And it's the same looking group. Some guys down at the bottom of the order that really got it going. Francisco Alvarez finally breaking out with 3 hits. And as Kenny told us, one of the studs going right away for the Dodgers. Michael Kopech comes home, and off we go with ball 1.
That's going to be the key. Is he too revved up? He's going to come out and want to establish, obviously, a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Does he throw enough strikes early to get the Mets on their heels.
Francisco Lindor started the first bullpen game with a home run.
That's the tendency you worry about. Look, he's used to coming out from the 5th inning on, sometimes in the 9th. He started before, but it's been a while.
Doesn't get the call there, and it's 3 balls and no strikes.
Whoa.
David Rackley calling balls and strikes today. He did all he could to simulate coming out of the bullpen. He warmed up down in the bullpen and immediately ran in from there to the mound. Didn't come into the dugout like a traditional starter would. And there's your concern, John. Can he channel this in a 4-pitch walk to start it?
It's just not that easy, right? It's just simplified by saying, oh, 3 outs, that ain't too hard. But when you've got all that you know, you're supposed to get 3 outs and turn it over to the next guy. Well, the first 4 pitches, RPMs, that's usually the thing to watch on a guy who throws this hard.
Leadoff man aboard for the Mets. Brandon Nimmo comes up. Kopech threw 1 inning in this series. Game 3 faced these hitters and struck out Nimmo.
Now, being aggressive in a game when you're down 3-2 on the base pass, we're going to see what the Mets do and how they do it against Kopech here in the first.
29 stolen bases during the regular season for Lindor. Has not attempted one in the postseason. Wow, that thing misses everything.
So here's the illustration I want to give just from a word picture. Tonight's game is going to be this different. A helicopter and a jet both get to the points they're striding from point A to point B. It's a lot more moving parts out of a helicopter. The moving parts are a bullpen game. It can work. You can get there. But it sometimes is a little clunky and wonky, and you got to go inning to inning for Dave Roberts. That's the difference in this game stylistically.
Ground ball to second. Knocked down by Chris Taylor. Sticks with it and throws Nimmo out. Up to third goes Lindor. And we've seen it go both ways. We were touching on it right off of the top. Division series, they saved their season with a shutout in a bullpen game. But then game 2 of this championship series, 7 runs and a loss. A little different because they started that game with Brazier. When he gave up a run, they turned to Knack. They'd like to stay away from anybody they don't have to use in tonight's game.
First pitch is going to be key here. I would think Vientos is going to be aggressive. Look for a fastball up to get out over the infield that's drawn in.
It is a fastball for a strike. He's crushed those.
He wasn't looking for it, obviously.
It's an interesting matchup here, isn't it? Because he has hammered fastballs, and that's pretty much all Kopech throws. His 0-1 pitch. He went to a slider, and it's 1-1. Vientos had a big hand in throwing a wrench into that first bullpen game with a grand slam in the second inning to break it open. Leads the postseason in RBIs. 12 runs knocked in. Under at third, 1 away, 1-1 pitch. Upstairs.
The challenge is going to be not how many batters do the relievers face, how many outs can they get. Dave Roberts needs at least a few guys to get 4+ outs. Don't think Michael Kopech is one of those guys, but he's already going to face 4 batters short of a line drive double play.
Here comes this 2-1. Vientos takes it way high and in.
So this is the last part in this inning I'll touch on. When you're a reliever, the juices flow when you are getting ready to come into a game that's already been happening. When you're a guy that high leverage as Michael Kopech is, it's so different when you start. And that's what you have to manage because you know you're not going more than 1. So sometimes you put in all your efforts a little too much towards each batter, knowing you're only going to get 3 outs.
Infield already pulled in for the Dodgers here in the first inning. 3-1 to Vientos on the hands and fouled back. He's got the kind of stuff, and we've seen this before, John, where it can be all over the place, but then he finds it and just bullies you.
Yeah, strikes out the side. I've seen him do it with the bases loaded, and he gets to that level.
Hunting a strikeout here. And getting it with the slider, 2 away.
Great pitch, 3-2 right there. Knowing an aggressive hitter, wanting to get the ball in the air, changes it up with a really good slider in the zone.
And so it's up to Pete Alonso in this first inning. Runner at third, 2 away. Strike 1. He has just refused to let this dream season end. His home run in the wild card round with them down to their last 2 outs and then facing elimination again in Game 5 started the party with a first inning home run. On an 0-1 from Kopech. Alonso takes it right down the chute.
Well, slider's the kryptonite, and he started him off with a really good one, and you could think that if Alonso was guessing, he was guessing, I'm going to guess spin. Now he's got to be in protect mode.
Lindor dancing up that line. Michael Kopech, 0-2. Oh, what a take by Alonso. That's the exact pitch Kopech was trying to throw.
Absolutely. This pitch is as good as you can have with 2 strikes to not get the call.
You doing the same thing?
You know, if I'm going to throw that pitch, I'm going to have it a little bit lower. You know that Alonso likes the ball down, and if he sees it over the middle of the plate down, harder to hit than if it's away and off the plate.
Oh, challenged him. Triple digits.
Now, if you're going to throw it down, you know your catcher's really good, and you trust he's going to block it.
Heavy dose of breaking stuff in this championship series that Alonso's seen. What does he see on another 1-2? It's another fastball and a jam shot up the middle. Won't be an easy play. Taylor barehand throws wide. Ricochets into foul ground, and the Mets have the first run. Well, one of the greatest home run hitters of this generation with a little teardrop behind the mound and an infield hit to get the game's first run.
They were playing so deep, and the ball was hit so soft. He actually had a little bit more time when he grabbed the ball to make the throw. But you don't think this way when you're going at this speed. You throw it as quickly as you can, and that ball just sailed right. But you don't see very many of these happen in a game like this. Wow.
And you wonder if Freddie Freeman's extra couple of inches of extension over there could have been the difference. Freeman not in the lineup. Max Muncy gets his 3rd start at first base. And the Mets get the all-important first run, which in this series 5 times out of 5 has meant a win.
Yeah, and there's a secondary purpose that the Mets want to have. They want to extend every reliever that's in the game. If they win this game, they've gotten resources burned even more with more pitches.
2-0 on Jesse Winker.
So the more that Michael Kopech has to kind of engage in this inning, the more pitches, it's just better if the Mets are able to win or work each reliever to the max for those resources in Game 7.
2-0. Foul back. Jesse Winker back into the lineup in Game 5. Carlos Mendoza made a couple changes. He put Winker back in there at DH for J.D. Martinez. He put Jeff McNeil in for his first start. Both those guys delivered in that 12-run outburst. Jesse Winker quietly has been their best hitter in this postseason. Inside corner, 2-2.
And the other thing is you got to give Pete Alonso some credit for getting the bat on the ball, right? It was 0-2 quick, and he battled and got the ball in play, and that's the difference between a ball in play and a swing and a miss. He gets run in on him and jammed him.
Count goes full on Winker. So the Dodgers trying to get to the World Series here with the volatility of a bullpen game. Kopech's first run allowed in this postseason. Home with a payoff. That's high for ball 4. And it's the 3rd base runner with his first inning for New York. And once again, Francisco Lindor, as he did in the bullpen game the first time around. He had the leadoff home run in Game 2 of this series. Takes a 4-pitch walk here. Comes in to score the first run. And a Mets team that had just 9 runs over the first 4 games. They got blown out 18-2 in the first games in New York. But then, as they've done all year, found a way to punch back. And that 12-6 win to force this game 6. And this guy right here was a huge part of it. We asked Carlos Mendoza today, John, when is the last time you've seen Starling Marte look this good? And he said 2 years ago when he was on the other side as the bench coach as the Yankees.
Yeah, he has the best approach against Michael Kopech. And what I mean by that, he's short and quick to the ball, almost in a 2-strike stance where he doesn't try to overswing. He's going to trust his hands, and he can handle velocity.
Pops up the first pitch. Shallow right field. There's Mookie Betts, but the Mets strike first in this bullpen game. Well, they went 400 some feet for the runs in the first inning in the game 5. Right here it goes, I don't know, about 100 feet and that close, but the Mets get the first run. Pete Alonso refusing to let this ride end. Shohei Ohtani heads up there to lead things off for the Dodgers, who have averaged 7 runs per game in this championship series. Trying to get Teoscar Hernandez going. He's still looking for his first hit. Max Muncy's at first base. Freddie Freeman not playing today. Andy Pages coming off his 2-home-run game. John, I know that often you say when you have success against the team, don't overthink it, stick with the plan. But you find yourself today thinking through this, not sure that's the way to go.
Yeah, I would anticipate Ohtani, as great as he is, he's going to try to get on top of my fastball. So I would still be able to try to slow him down before I throw too many fastballs in a row to him. Just because he's that good. Now, his fastball against him last time, he didn't make contact.
Dave Roberts said it's as uncomfortable as he's seen Ohtani look in a Dodger uniform. Those 3 at-bats against Minaya in Game 2. We went 0 for 3. Struck out twice.
But it's the ultimate chicken and the egg. You know, what do you do? And that's the beauty of pitching.
Got a fastball by him, 1-2. Now, through that sinker, John, more than 60% of the time in Game 2. 6 of his 7 Ks came on that pitch.
Yeah, and that sinker is not your traditional, like, dive down. It's actually thrown up quite a bit. And the Dodgers, uncharacteristically against them, first time seeing them as far as a new release point.
Yeah, going into that start in Game 2, he was 1-5 with a .750 in his career against LA. But he showed you this is a different Sean Manaea, who's changed that delivery. He's changed his mix. Ohtani rolls one up the middle and through for a base hit. One too many sinkers?
Yeah, that's what you know. The fastballs last time in the day, I mean, Ohtani didn't get to him. And he was able to just move his way in the strike zone, sometimes right down the middle, and he had him confused. The problem with a great hitter is you can't keep doing it. In my mind, you can do that against other players who are a little less talented, but when you've got greatness, they're going to be able to make adjustments. Even though it's not the most rocketed ball off the bat, it's a base hit nonetheless.
And we came into this postseason for the Dodgers saying Mookie Betts would be a key guy in this lineup, and man, has he found it lately. Ohtani not seeing a ton to hit. Mookie Betts cleaning it up behind him. 7 out of his last 12 with 2 home runs. First pitch from Sean Manaea is at the top of the zone for a strike.
The changeup and the curveball, to me, tonight will be his chance to have success. What I mean by that is we've seen his fastball. His fastball is real good. But to keep these hitters off balance, he's got to be able to hit with his secondary stuff to be successful tonight.
Fouls back a fastball. Mookie Betts has homered against him 3 times, but that was the old version of Sean Manaea, who's now in his 9th season in the big leagues. Constant evolution just to survive prior to this year, and got a couple-year contract. He's continued to evolve through this season, and it's been the best of his career. Here's his 0-2, and it buzzes Betts, ball 1. Ohtani at first. We've not seen him make noise with his legs in this postseason after 59 steals in the regular year. Check swing down to first, no swing.
Well, I give Sean Manaea all the credit in the world. It's one thing to pitch 80+ more innings than normal. It's another thing to do it on the fly and change your arm angle. that will stress you out even more. It's a different angle, different stresses, and you know he's trying to get to the end of the season and at least give his team one more chance to play.
Ohtani leaning, not running. Betts out in front, strike 3. There's the changeup. Leaned on that against the Phillies in the division series. Hasn't thrown it as much in the other 2 postseason starts.
And the reason it's not the greatest swing and miss pitch against the Dodgers is because they don't do this very often. But a reason I think it's going to be an important pitch, it's the angle from which he throws it. Hard to determine between that fastball that's sneaking by the hitter and that changeup that just doesn't get there.
1-on-1 out. Teoscar Hernandez was their best hitter during the division series, but is 0 for 18 against the Mets. They've just bullied him with fastballs.
Yeah, and it's even to his manager, kind of confused by that because he was so good leading into this. Just seems a little bit out of sorts.
Hits this ball hard, deep center field. Taylor going back, off the wall. Ohtani will stop at third on a long single from Teoscar Hernandez. How is he not at second?
Well, he thought that ball was gone, and it could end up coming back to hurt the Dodgers if they get a double play right here. That's what I saw out of the corner of my eye watching the ball. He thinks this is gone, and so he's anticipating a jog, and then it's too late right here. The ball came right back off the wall and did not get a man on second. So see if that ends up hurting the Dodgers.
The base running mistake in Game 5. Ohtani was at third, didn't come home on a ground ball to short on what should have been a contact play.
Well, and that's the thing. I said the one rule you should really never have in the postseason, just don't assume. You got all the time in the world to rest. If you get the job done, don't assume things are going to be caught or balls are going to be over the fence.
Here's a guy they've been able to count on. Tommy Edman pops the first one back and out of play. Might not look like a cleanup hitter, his stature, but his stats and just the feeling that he's given the Dodgers, he fits right in this spot.
He does, and he's capable on this next pitch to have that safety squeeze. He swung at the first one trying to drive it. Wouldn't be surprised if he squared away around on this.
Really good bunter right here. Swings away, and it's 0-2. Already seeing more of that changeup from Sean Manaea. Singles from Ohtani and Hernandez at the corners here in the first. Fights it off. Late swing to stay alive. Take a look at Fox Foresight, powered by Google Cloud. We say thanks to Google Cloud for powering these real-time insights. 7 a game in this series after the offense got charged up in the division series. They've been really good against left-handed pitching like they're facing here. Another 0-2 pitch. Edman takes it.
Well, that would have been a tough pitch for Edman to lay off of if it was up and tight to his body. But it was away the whole way. And he has been clutch for the Dodgers this postseason.
Well, this whole lineup collectively has above 300 with runners in scoring position this October. On a 1-2, Edman pokes it foul, stays alive.
So early on, well, both pitchers, of course, one being a reliever, missing location, did Michael Kopech. But on the fastball, Manaea has missed location as well. Trying to get the ball in and missing away usually doesn't work out.
Edman goes out and gets it and yanks it into the left field corner. What a piece of two-strike hitting from Tommy Edman. Hernandez heads for the plate and will score without a throw. Tommy Edman has given the Dodgers the lead, 2-1. I mean, he had no business getting to that ball.
No, he had seen enough changeups, though, to keep his hands back enough. His body went forward, but his hands stayed back, and just enough to hook it down the line. And a huge hit and a huge pick-me-up for what would have been a base running blunder had they not scored, and he scored from first.
Doing his best cleanup hitter impression again. Ball one on Max Muncy. So Tommy Edman now with 9 runs batted in this series, making his case for NLCS MVP if the Dodgers can win this series. Muncy, who homered against Manaea in Game 2. Lifts this ball to center field, but no big deal for Tyrone Taylor. 2 out, and give it another chance to use those legs. Teoscar Hernandez picked him up and put him down.
Oh yeah, once he saw it in the corner, he was head down and knows where he was going to end up. The one thing I'm going to say, Joe, about when you're tired as a pitcher, you can use your off speed and not be impacted negatively as much, but it's the fastball command because you need arm speed and connectivity. And when you're a little bit fatigued, and a lot of these guys are fatigued, it's the command of the fastball that struggles more than necessarily the secondary pitches.
2 outs. Kike Hernandez. Well, Tom told us off at the top that, you know, he was really kind of cruising along in game 2, just 1 run over 5 innings. And then he even said, I hit a wall when he got into the 6th inning, walked 2. And you can understand why. 80 more innings than last year, a career high for Sean Manaea. You've been in those shoes before where when you got to be at your best, you feel like you're running on fumes.
Yeah, the difference is the 80 innings. Like if he had been there, done that a bunch of times, you learn how to do it. But when you're that far past what your previous high was, that takes a toll on you in a different way.
Hernandez rips it foul.
Then if you just know year and year and year how to deal with the fatigue every year, this is certainly new and certainly at the same time where you want to be as a team.
We got our first lead change of this series right here. Edman at second, 2 out. Hernandez taps this one foul. Starting to get mad at our buddies over there at TBS, BA and Frenchie and Ronnie. Share the love, guys. Hogging all the good games.
Oh, they've had some good ones, haven't they? And you know what? The Yankees, whoever they play in the World Series, it's going to be a great World Series. They've had the timing and the run that they wanted, and they're sitting, waiting, hoping this thing goes 7, I'm sure.
Another 1-2 pitch from Sean Manaea, his 25th of this first inning. Kike Hernandez takes inside.
And see, that's a perfect example right there. Sean Manaea in the regular season probably doesn't miss a fastball by 4 feet, right? And that's just part of the whole mental toughness and just fatigue factor that you're trying to work through inning by inning, batter by batter.
So now a 2-2. This is going to make it tough on Carlos Mendoza. Different set of tough decisions for these two managers. It's obvious for Dave Roberts as he navigates a bullpen game. Carlos Mendoza, you don't win this game, there is no tomorrow, so that part's simpler. But knowing you don't have a ton in that bullpen and knowing if this spirals out of control, your season's over, that's a hard thing to try and balance.
It is. What he really wants, though, is he wants this game to be as close as possible to make it even harder on his counterpart, Dave Roberts.
Hernandez has been a postseason monster. Has worked the count full. Homered in game 3. One of his 15 career postseason home runs.
So already the problem, and you're getting a sense that the Dodgers don't fear the fastball right now, right? They're just seeing the pitches pretty well, and the fastball's not beating a lot of hitters.
Dips low, ball 4. Manaea got ahead and then lost him. Well, here's one of the breakout stars of this series, Andy Pages, who went 3 for 4 with a pair of home runs in game 5. Picking up some of the slack. We're talking about Teoscar Hernandez over. Will Smith not really hitting. Freddie Freeman diminished. Here's his 23-year-old rookie kind of out of the blue to give him a lift the other day.
Well, in game 5, this was a mash. I mean, he mashed it. And he did it again. Basically, he was getting some grief for how he handled his home run. But then he backed it up with another home run.
And back in there today, easy decision for Dave Roberts, given a couple things, what he did there in game 5 and what he's done all year against left-handed pitching. 357. Phil Maton already warming. Now Manaea, he had him in the palm of his hand the first time he faced him with fastballs.
Yeah, he's not commanding it. And you can know real quickly when a starter comes out of the gate, the command of fastball should be there. If it's not there, it's tougher to get. It really is. That just tells you you're just off. And that's why I thought the secondary pitches would be his kind of way of getting around it.
30th pitch of this inning is swung on and missed.
Because the last thing you want to do is force things. If you don't want forced velocity, it usually never works. Great response, though, by the Dodgers after giving up a run and potentially some more in the first inning.
This is a team that won 98 games. Calloused, though, hardened by what was an injury-riddled year, pushed to the brink by the Padres. And they've talked throughout this October run, they feel like they're more prepared to handle the pressure, to be handled getting pushed like this. 2-2.
Well, yeah, they've used more of their roster than they probably thought they would, right? I mean, they've had contributions now in this series by, I wouldn't call them unlikely, just maybe not counted on as much. Some of the injuries, a big part.
They really pushed and tested all year. Pressure's been on for years. This is nothing new trying to end this tonight for the Dodgers. I mean, a decade plus of dominance during the regular season. Just one World Series to show for it. Pressure staying on, pennant staying within reach. One win away from heading to the World Series. Here's a pop fly down the line. Pete Alonso's over. Does he have room? He does. Alonso lunges to catch it, making a great play to finish off this first inning.
You're going to have to maybe remember this catch if the Mets do something today. Remember that catch.
Alonso's knocked in their run and maybe saved one or two. Tommy Edman, though, flips it around in this first inning. Dave Roberts is saying, you better run, man. Turned a double into a single, but scored anyways on Edman's double. Back here on a beautiful night at Dodger Stadium, both teams getting runs in the first inning. 2-1 to the second. And where would the Dodgers be without Tommy Edman, acquired at the deadline and looming large in this championship series? Bit of a surprise here, John. Ben Kasparius, who pitched in 3 games in September to make his major league debut, has made a good impression in 2 low leverage outings in this championship series. This is anything but that.
No, but I like this guy a lot, and the ability to spin the ball. You saw that right there. Now, how his nerves are, we'll find out. But he can do that. And he's got an above average fastball, as everybody does in the game now. So commanding the emotions and the tension of the game. I know it's only the second inning, but he knows putting up a 0, passing the baton on to his teammates.
Bottom of the Mets order here in the second. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Tyrone Taylor. Yeah, it's definitely a different test for him. The 2 games that he's pitched in this series, it was 9-0 when he came in, and it was 8-0.
Yeah, that's a way big difference.
25-year-old from Connecticut delivers 1-2. That's a good take by Taylor, and it's 2-2.
Simple mechanics and the ability to feel the ball and throw it with comfort. That's what he looks like, at least on the outside.
It's gone full on Taylor.
Well, early on, every hitter is up there battling to win the at bat. So early, so important.
It's always an aggressive lineup. Carlos Mendoza, though, especially both days that we've sat down with him before, bullpen games, has reiterated the importance of that approach and that mentality. Here's a payoff. Taylor pops it foul.
I mean, I think with what you've been through, what the Mets are, it's not that your nerves are shot. They're just numb. So
right?
you're like, whatever. I mean, let's go. We're down. We'll rally. We have an elimination game. We'll win. It's just they've found different ways to rally around those kind of things that build a team in character and just guts.
8th pitch. Taylor hits it deep to left field, but will hang in the yard for Teoscar Hernandez. 1 gone in the second inning, and we go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Well, Joe, Kasparius began his college career as a 2-way player at North Carolina, but he turned solely to pitching after transferring to Connecticut for his junior year. Now, while at North Carolina, he met his girlfriend, Erin Matson, who is considered the Michael Jordan of field hockey. Mattson won 4 national championships at UNC, then get this, guys, became the team's head coach less than 2 months after graduating at age 22. Kasparia says she is the best athlete he has ever met, besides Shohei.
And pretty darn good coach, too. She led him to a championship in her first year in that seat.
That's pretty impressive.
Chops in a curveball for a strike on Jeff McNeil. First time in a long time. Jeff McNeil's played a big role for these Mets.
I got it.
It's not going to be far.
No.
He needed one of those huge gloves. You reach out and get yourself a souvenir. Carlos Mendoza made 2 moves to the lineup for Game 5. He put in Jesse Winker. He put in Jeff McNeil. Both those paid off. McNeil had 2 sac flies. Grounds this one to second for Chris Taylor. 2 up and 2 down for Kasparias. Now, the move that he didn't make is the guy coming up next in Francisco Alvarez, with some people calling for a change at catcher. Manager maintains his faith, and Alvarez breaks out.
He broke out in a big way, and just feeling that connectivity, that click, that standing on first base or second is something you see what he's done the last 2 games.
One ball, no strikes. Working on it hard in the cage before Game 5. He got there early and went in there, and he said he was terrible, and said to Eric Chavez, the hitting coach, I just got to go clear my head, come back, try this again. And when he came back into the cage after that, Chavez said he looked like a different guy. Just tried to simplify things, and look, he's always going to swing hard, but maybe a little more restraint to what he was doing in Game 5. And collected 3 hits.
Well, honestly, even, those hits he got, he showed some patience in that game, and he's already shown patience here, not trying to do too much on the first couple pitches, which typically is not his sweet spot.
Yeah. Not too many 2-0 counts. Francisco Alvarez, 22-year-old in his 2nd year. How about ball 3 with Lindor on deck? Three and 1. How about a walk for Francisco Alvarez? This is a guy who was 6 for 36 in the postseason, unrattled, and maybe you shouldn't be surprised when you consider he's got the word "the best" tattooed to his neck. Unshakable confidence, this kid.
That's what you got to have in this game. You will get humbled, but you got to believe in what you can do, even in the toughest of times and when you're slumping.
Big walk right there to get Lindor to the plate. 2-1 game, 2nd inning. Ball 1. 4-pitch walk to start the game for Lindor, and came in to score their run. Heady stuff here for the rookie Kasparias, facing one of the best players in baseball. He's 1-0. Is pulled sharply into right field, and a base hit. And that's back-to-back 2-out base runners for New York. Nobody warming down in that Dodger bullpen.
He gets one out of the middle of the zone, and lucky for the Dodgers that he was top spinning that one instead of lifting that one. Kept it in the ballpark. 2 outs. Still got a chance to get out of this inning. And Nimmo's is no different than Freddie Freeman in a different way, battling to get out there, battling for his team. And he's looking for a huge hit in this series.
They sprinkled in a few, but no real signature moments yet in this series for the longtime Met. Dealing with that sore foot. Takes a strike. Generous outside corner there. It's gotten worse as this postseason has gone on. Every step he's feeling it. He's even felt it a little bit in the batter's box lately. Longest tenured Met trying to help get his team to a game 7. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's the 2nd inning where the Mets exploded against the Dodger bullpen game in game 2. They scored 5 runs in that inning against what would be considered the lower end of the bullpen, and Landon Knack. This would be considered that too. Just the 6th career major league game for Ben Kasparias. His 1-1 is a fastball that's popped up. Boy, Nimmo had one to hit and popped it to short. And Tommy Edman will end this second inning. An exhale for Kasperius and Dave Roberts and the Dodgers, who've got Shohei Ohtani due up third when you come back. Early exits the last couple of years for the Dodgers. The Stars just disappeared in the postseason. But how about Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts, both having big Octobers in the last couple games, on fire, reaching base 14 times the last 2 games, scoring 8 runs. And it was Ohtani singling to start today's game and coming in to score.
Well, they're going to have to do that and keep doing it. You know, they're a little bit short in the pitching area, and they certainly are trying to put all their eggs in the basket today to win.
Luger's sitting back there somewhere. As Will Smith takes ball 1 from Sean Manaea, who had to throw 34 pitches in that first inning. John, what do you want to see from him here in the second?
Easier outs, right? I mean, they've been tough. And getting strikes and seeing if he makes the adjustment with his fastball. I mean, he's not long for this game if he can't get some easy outs and get some outs relatively with that fastball as well.
Chopper to third. Vientos to get Will Smith.
I always felt like these games, especially when they're an elimination game. So when you're pitching an elimination game, the less stress, the better. But the more stress just compounds it, and you're going to have a shorter outing. And give again the credit to the Dodgers. We talked about their ability to make adjustments, but when you can get quick outs, first, second, or third pitch, it resets your body and resets your mind.
Backdoor, just missed ball 1 to Chris Taylor. I mean, 34 pitches in that first inning. You touched on how big that catch was by Pete Alonso, not just to get him out of that inning, but maybe to keep him in the game.
No doubt. He was leaking. And, you know, sometimes we talk about as pitchers, just give me an atom ball, which is a rocket at somebody. Yeah. Just an out anyway, and that out was a big out by Pete Alonso.
Here's a 2-0 to Taylor. And a strike on the corner. But Chris Taylor's starting at second base today. The choice over Gavin Lux, who of course is left-handed and is still dealing with that hip issue. And so Taylor, even though he struggled mightily, is in there trying to get this lineup turned over. With a dunk shot into left field, he will. A man aboard for Shohei Ohtani as Chris Taylor gets just his second hit of the postseason.
Well, sometimes it's just the time of the day and the ability to see a ball and not see a ball. Now, Ohtani faced Manaea during the day, didn't pick it up. Maybe the lighting had something to do with it. Tonight, a little bit later in the day and maybe easier to see the fastball out of the low-throwing, angled, left-handed pitcher.
First pitch, Ohtani takes a strike. After somewhat of a quiet division series, and with the pressure cooker that is the postseason, the magnifying glass that everybody's under, there were questions, can he do it in the postseason? On base above 500 in this championship series. As has kind of been the trend through his first year in LA. The bigger the games have gotten, the more extraordinary he's been. On a 1-1 from Manaea, Ohtani fouls it off.
Well, so far the pitch that he has the most confidence with is the changeup. He's got to find the curveball, though, especially against left-handers. Being able to throw that curveball at that angle should be tough on lefties. But the changeup, he's gotten most of his outs on that pitch so far.
He's already thrown it almost as many times as he did in 5+ innings in Game 2. Taylor at first has good speed. Manaea much better job controlling the running game so far in the postseason. Ohtani fights it off, stays alive. Back-to-back sinkers in on him.
Yeah, he's trying to go away, though. Again, a heavy shoulder, a heavy arm. It's all the attention you can to try to get that arm speed up on the fastball so you can get it to the location that your catcher wants it. See, right now that pitch feels foreign to him. That's why you're not seeing him connect with it. Connecting with that pitch, you've got to be able to throw this at Ohtani's hip. You want to throw Ohtani right there with at his hip, at his belt to get the breaking ball.
So Ohtani's fouled off a few here. 2 home runs in this series. He's Taylor at first with 1 away. Another 2-2 pitch. Ohtani swings and misses. Turn it up to 94 to finish him off at the top of the zone.
Well, that was a good four-seam fastball and a perfect timing to get that pitch up.
Digging deep, Sean Manaea. Uncharted territory for him here. All these innings he's logged, and this deep into the postseason. His team leaning on him. That's a ball on Betts.
Now Betts is another kind of hitter that you just can't keep getting him out the same way. He's had success with the changeup, got him to swing over the top of it.
Taylor runs. Throw from Alvarez. High and not close. Stolen base for Chris Taylor. Manaea gave up a bunch of those during the regular season. That's his first one allowed in 4 starts in October.
On the pitch previously, Taylor faked like he was going, almost to see what Manaea was going to do. And then once he had the timing of it, went on that first move and stole it easily.
Into scoring position for Betts. Betts second in the postseason in runs batted in with 11 of them. Trailing just Vientos to the Mets. That was after a bit of a quiet division series. He's really gotten it going against New York. Here's what we're talking about. Going to that changeup is Manaea. Goes to it again here, and it's smacked to second for Jeff McNeil. Scored a second inning for Manaea after 2 in Game 6. 2-1 LA. Yeah, the bigger the games are getting, the bigger the stars that are showing up. Jamie Foxx, front row seat for Game 6. Jason Bateman's always around, taking in his Dodgers. And Tom Hanks back here in LA for Game 6 of this series. The Mets forcing Game 6, as they've done so many times this year. This is who they've been. Fighting off elimination once again. Defying the odds again. Down 2-1 though as this game goes to the 3rd, and Ben Kasperius multi going to stay in.
Well, they need somebody to get them 4+ outs, and they got bullpen action going right now, but I would envision him facing at least these 2 hitters.
Chopper to short, Tommy Edman to get Vientos. This is a guy in Kasperius who was drafted in 2022. And in his first year in the minors, he had like a 6.5 ERA. Last year he was an A-ball for most of the season. Started this year in AA, ending it in the National League Championship Series at this point.
Yeah, I'd be careful on a breaking ball on the first pitch to Pete. It cannot roll in the strike zone. He will swing if it's tight and away. Oh, man.
That's one where you'd like to be swinging if you're the polar bear, huh? Whew. Continues to see almost nothing but spin in this series. Finally got to one with his home run in Game 5. Alonso knocked in their first run with an infield hit. Pulls this one left side. Edman can't squeeze it. And Alonso's 2 for 2. Well, it's not been your vintage Alonso performance where he's hitting moonshots, but fought this ball off for an infield hit to score a run, broke his bat, settled it in behind the mound, and then this catch that might have kept Manaea in this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is not an easy catch for anybody, and he does a nice job getting there. And that probably is going to be it for the young right-hander. Got 4 outs.
As Dave Roberts and the Dodgers try to piece this one together, try to get 27 outs and a trip to the World Series. That's it for Kasperius. Anthony Banda comes in with the lefty winker coming up. Who's it going to be? Dodgers or Mets to face off with the New York Yankees. The World Series begins Friday night on Fox with coverage starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. The Yankees have ended their drought. First trip since 2009. And now they watch this one closely. Probably hoping for a Mets win. Get this to a 7th game. Have everybody exhaust themselves. Anthony Banda's on to pitch. Runner at first, 1 away. Lefty, lefty. Here he comes to Winker. only left-hander the Dodgers have down there, with Alex Vesia injured for this series. And Bonda's first pitch misses.
Yeah, that's a way bigger injury than we may even have talked about, or even Dave knows. You know, that's a missing piece that was so important to that game in San Diego.
And here you see 2 balls quickly from Bonda, and here is the roller coaster of emotions that a bullpen game is for Dave Robertson, for Dodger fans. Every time that gate swings open, unpredictability walks through it.
It very well can. Yes, it can. And that's what each guy knows when they go out there.
3-0. Winker walked his first time. Been an on-base machine for the Mets. He's reached in 8 of his last 12 times up. And to think he wasn't in the starting lineup games 3 or 4.
People at home often think, well, why is a pitcher goes 3-0 and then he could throw the 3-0 right down the middle? Well, the thought of him hitting each pitch and making perfect pitches is why that happens. 3-0 most of the times they take.
He's walked Winker. On base yet again. Tying run into scoring position, and here's the guy the Mets like to have up in these situations, Starling Marte, who's hitting above 400 in this championship series. After years of dealing with injuries, rediscovering his best when they need him most.
Loves hitting off of lefties. Really the only thing, 2-seam fastballs are the only thing he's got that's hitting under 200 against.
Dealing with an issue with the pitch comm there. Receiver in his hat. Tying run at second. Go ahead run at first. 1 gone in this 3rd inning. Bonda to Marte. Just got the pitch off and got a swing and a miss. And then took a fastball. 0-2.
Pretty good one, 97. He's got that really unique arm swing right there. Long arm swing.
Little pop fly backside of the diamond. Infield fly rule in effect as Chris Taylor makes the catch. 2 out. And here's Tyrone Taylor. Now for the Mets, these situations have told the story in this series. They're hitting .290 in the 2 wins with runners in scoring position. In the 3 losses, 0 for 17. And they've lived a lot of these first 3 innings in this situation. 2 on, 2 out. Bonda to Taylor. Strike 1.
And that's the pitch right there that gets on him from a left-hander. 4-seam fastball with velocity is what he struggled with against left-handers, and there is the losses that tell the story with runners in scoring position.
Ball and a strike on Taylor. Fly to left his first time. 5 out of 42 in this postseason. Fouls it off, and it's 1-2. Bonda deals. Taylor takes very high. Count evens 2-2.
That's the right idea, just not that far up. Across the letters, up over the plate. Tough to lay off of.
Worth going there again?
Yes. 4-seam.
Alonso at second and Winker at first. 2-2 pitch. Back to the fastball. Drew the swing. Fouled off. Which way does this bullpen game go for the Dodgers? Win, and it's the World Series. Lose, and all bets are off for the Game 7 tomorrow night. Deuce is wild in the third. 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2. It hits him. Hits him with a 2-2 pitch, and the bases are loaded for New York.
I know he was trying to go for the swing and a miss on that pitch, and unfortunately he ended up hitting him, but the fastball was beating Taylor to the point of attack, and all this would have done if it was in the zone is sped up his bat. And instead now pressure on the Dodgers once again. That's all you can do if you're the Mets. Put as much pressure on every pitcher possible and see if you can get that one big crack in an inning, and that changes the whole dynamics on how Dave manages the rest of the game.
That's what it was in Game 2, right? It was one pitcher that didn't have it that made the difference. Landon Knack didn't have it in the second inning, and the Mets came away winners. You're hoping to make Anthony Banda that guy with 2 gone here in the third. Your team, your players, in your home for postseason baseball. Get personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app today. They're loaded up for Jeff McNeil.
McNeil typically is an aggressive hitter, so good meeting out there trying to get him to execute a pitch, what I would think would be a breaking ball, but the fastball has also beaten McNeil since he's come back miraculously from that injury.
Bases loaded, third inning. McNeil's behind the fastball. That is what he went with to start it. Carlos Mendoza banking on his bat to ball ability after missing more than a month, hoping that that can click in quickly.
Yeah, you can see underneath, which is late.
Another fastball, and it's 0-2. Sticking with it?
Yes. You almost have to. I mean, he's late on the first one, late on the second one. And a great breaking ball will get a swing and a miss, but one that isn't great will speed up his bat, especially if it's in the zone.
0-2. Got him to chase for strike 3. Anthony Banda gets out of the bases loaded jam. The Dodgers up 2-1. One win from a pennant.
Back here at Dodger Stadium with Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. Dave, you got 4 outs out of Kasparius. You got Banda to get you out of that inning. How are you set up the rest of the way?
You know what? I feel good. You know, getting Kasparius to get his 4 outs is huge. Banda's going to go back out there, and I think going forward, Kenny, I feel good with the leverage arms we got left.
Tommy Edman, big 2-run double. He is 5'10", 193 pounds, and this is the second time this series you have hit him cleanup. What makes you comfortable with him in that spot?
You know what? I just feel like he's going to conduct a very good at bat. That's a nice swing right there. I just think he has the ability to drive in a run. He'll take the walk if needed. I wanted there to be a little bit of a tax if they wanted to get to Muncy a third time. But, yeah, that at bat that Tommy had, that's just atypical of who he is as a ball player. He's been huge for us.
Dave, thanks very much.
And Teoscar Hernandez, who came into this game 0 for 18 in this championship series, now 2 for 2. And I don't know if you saw, he was chugging out of the box there.
Yeah, he looks good and staying back, not trying to do too much. And yeah, he got out of the box with acceleration.
After he turned a single or double into a single his first time. Here's Edman chopping it by the bag foul.
So we talked about how tough it was for Dave Roberts. It's going to be super tough right now for Carlos Mendoza. I know he's trying to get as many innings and outs as he can out of his star lefty, but it's treading on thin ice right now. If he's not able to establish again quick outs, the more pressure, the more runners, that bullpen's going to get rocking for the Mets.
You know, the hard thing for the Mets and for Mendoza, John, is that, you know, we see teams like the Dodgers and the Yankees act aggressively with their pen because it's a strength. The Mets don't feel great about what they have down there.
Well, they just don't have as many, right?
Yeah.
And I think this game, though, has to be played really close, because what the Dodgers do have when they have the lead is they've got some guys they can really lean on to finish it.
What a season it's been. Carlos Mendoza, his first one as a manager. Edmonds going to take time here. They've been told they got no shot from before the season even broke, and then the people that said that validated. They started 0-5. People saying they got no shot again, down 3-1. They forced this game 6, down 2-1.
Just to talk about the stuff, there was so much more swing and miss in his first game. Yes, day game, but not a lot of swing and miss as much in this game. And the sinker tonight, already 4 hits against, only 2 in his first start.
Edman drives this ball deep left center field. Back goes Nimmo. Clean up Tommy Edman. A 2-run blast. Little man with a big impact in his first October in LA. Strike one on Muncy. Tommy Edman hit 6 home runs in his 2 months with the Dodgers this regular season. 4 of them came in a 2-day stretch where he was hitting cleanup. It's like he puts on this costume like all the kids are going to during Halloween coming up here, and then plays that role to perfection. He's knocked in all 4 for the Dodgers, who lead game 6 4-1.
This guy can put a safety squeeze down. He can put a sacrifice bunt down. And obviously he can put a ball over the fence. There's no better timing for Dave Roberts and some of the decisions he's made already in this game that are coming through early. And that pen going to play a huge role for the Mets the rest of the way.
All 3 on Muncy. It's the 10th home run of this series for the Dodgers. The power with the patience, the record number of walks, and the clutch hitting above 300 with runners in scoring position. Muncy takes the walk, shows off that patience. Down to Kenny.
Thanks, Joe. Tommy, 2-run double, 2-run homer. What has been the difference against Manaea tonight?
You know, he's a tough pitcher. You know, you got to really do a good job of getting him in the zone, and doing a good job of that today. And I think that first game, having kind of seen the weird release point, helped.
How about hitting cleanup? You comfortable there?
Sorry, what was that?
Hitting cleanup. You liking it?
Yeah, apparently. I guess so.
Tommy, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Go back to you.
All right, and that is going to be the end of the game for Sean Manaea. So this Mets bullpen will have to pave the way to a game 7. The Dodgers 4, the Mets 1. Tommy Edman 4, the Mets 1. Back to Los Angeles in a moment. Tommy Edman's reputation is as a tough at-bat. Guy's going to put the ball in play. Like you said, John, maybe lay down a sacrifice, but he has thumped the Dodgers in front. Dave Roberts loves it. A 2-run double and a 2-run home run. There goes Max Muncy before the first pitch from Phil Maton, which misses everything. Muncy gets second easily. So the bullpen goes to work here. Nobody out in the 3rd inning. They're going to have to cover a lot of ground tonight. Phil Maton, the first guy out there. He's struggled in this postseason, but Carlos Mendoza saying, I still trust the pull, still trust the experience, and he's going to have no choice but to trust all his guys the rest of the way tonight. The hitter's Hernandez. And the count's 2-0.
Well, some breathing room that Dave Roberts was hoping to have to make managing the rest of this game pretty straightforward. There's going to be no guessing now. It's going to be 3-run lead entering the 5th. He's going to have 1 or 2 of his highest leverage guys be able to go 1+ if he needs it.
2-1. Hernandez lifts a fly ball to left field. Nimmo over to his right. Make the grab for the first out. Because the longer this stayed close, and especially if it was a narrow deficit, so difficult to make this the game, because you're really going to have to commit to winning this one. And then, oh boy, what do you do tomorrow? Walker Buehler's only been able to give you about 4 innings.
Exactly, and you know the rest, if you win this game, is going to go a long way for the Dodgers, especially the bullpen arms who have been on high alert.
Andy Pages popped out his first time, takes ball 1 here. You know, the Yankees excited to have the extra rest. Their bullpen heavily used. They wrapped things up last night in Cleveland and get almost a full week break before game 1 on Friday. It'll either be here at Dodger Stadium or back at Yankee Stadium if the Mets pull off this comeback. Fly to right. Marte's there. 2 out. So Luis Severino, who is the Game 7 starter, if it were to get there. And perhaps going to get thrown into duty here to try and get it to a Game 7.
He might have to. I mean, there may not be any choice. It just depends again on how the score and the inning.
I wonder if Kodai Senga is going to play a role at some point. We thought we'd see him in Game 5. They didn't have to go to him. A high upside play, but pretty low downside too. Smith lifts a high drive to center field. Taylor back. Here it is. Gone. Will Smith searching, and here in Game 6, finding a 2-run home run.
Two-seamer right down the middle. Don't let his size fool you. When he's connected in the ball, he can hit it long ways.
The Dodgers have scored 4 runs in this 3rd inning on a pair of 2-run shots, and they've got a 6-1 lead. Strike 1 on Chris Taylor. Sean Manaea, who just did not have it tonight. Now it's Taylor sending a fly ball deep the other way. Marte to the track. He's got room. This 3rd inning comes to a close. More fireworks from Tommy Edman, making his case for MVP. Hitting like a cleanup hitter out of that 4th spot. He's knocked in 4. And then Will Smith, who's had a tough road in this postseason. A straightaway center home run. The Dodgers a 6-1 lead in Game 6.
Welcome back to Dodger Stadium as Francisco Alvarez leads off with a base hit. I'm with Mets manager Carlos Mendoza. Carlos, you had to get the bullpen up 6 batters into the game and had to go get Sean Manaea in the 3rd. What did you think of his stuff?
Yeah, I thought you got to give them credit. You know, I thought they did a good job not only staying on his fastball, but staying on top of the fastball. We saw it with the Oscar and then Edman on that homer. I think that ball was out of the strike zone, and he was somehow stay on top of it and hit it out of the ballpark. Obviously, first at bat, he stayed on the sweeper for the double. You got to give them credit because they were all over him.
Carlos, thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
Francisco Alvarez keeps doing his thing. Reaches for the 2nd time, singling on the first pitch of the 4th. That's looking to chip away. Top of the order now with Lindor, who's reached both times.
And that's all they can really do right now. is find a way to just create stress again and chip away. You said it perfectly, because they know what's in store. They know what the Dodgers still have down in the pen.
Still a long way to go. Anthony Banda stays in the game. His 1-1 pitch is a good one, and it's 1-2. All 5 games in this series have been decided by at least 4 runs. And once again, the Dodgers have a big gap. And Edwin Diaz getting ready as early as you're ever going to see him, with the top of the Dodge order due up. Yeah, everything thrown a little bit haywire here. Lindor to left center field for Teoscar Hernandez in the first out of the 4th. It's only the second postseason series ever where the first 5 games have all been decided by at least 4 runs. The 1965 World Series, Dodgers against the Twins, that wound up going 7 games. Sandy Koufax, complete game shutouts in Game 5 and Game 7 to win the Dodgers the World Series, but it had blowouts for much of that series. 1-on-1 out for Nimmo. Strike 1.
I never thought in the postseason we were going to be able to play the area code game, which is the first 3 innings. Last game was 305 for the Mets, so that was Florida. Now we're talking Canada, Manitoba, 204.
Okay.
Never thought that would be the case.
No, I prefer that game in like May.
Well, right now each team that's done it, to your point, has done it early. And my, oh my.
No, we said it at the start of the division series, Sean. The Dodgers, because who knows where this is headed as far as the pitching, but they may have to out-hit the pitching questions. And the pitching's been better than anybody anticipated it would. Offense has delivered, though, as expected. A strikeout at Nimmo, 2 gone in the 4th. Over 6 runs per game for a team that was about 2.5 runs per game the last 2 years. Bowing out in the division series both times around. Stars have come through this time, though, and so have the guys, the other end of the roster, the role players. Looks like Ryan Brazier is going to come in here. Well, we've talked about what a roller coaster this has been for the Mets in this series, really all season, but then into this series. They get blown out 9-0 in the first game, only to respond with 6 early runs in Game 2 to tie the series up to New York. But then they got turned on its head again. They got outscored 18-2 the first 2 games in New York. Another response, though, 12-6 to force this Game 6 tonight. Yeah, going to have to respond one more time. An uphill climb here, down 6-1, top of the 4th inning. Ryan Brazier's in for the Dodgers. Mark Vientos the hitter. 3rd game of this series for Brazier, who was the opener for the bullpen game 2, gave up a home run. Here's a high fly ball to deep center field. Pages going back, reaches for the wall. It's gone! Vientos chips away with a 2-run home run. And it's 6-3. Had just enough on it. Vientos with his 5th home run of the postseason and extends his postseason lead in runs batted in, now 14 for the 24-year-old breakout star.
I'll tell you something, when he connects, he's got some thunder in that bat. And if he cuts down on the strikeouts, he is going to be a beast for the Mets. This is a breaking ball in the zone. And to hit one in straightaway center, or basically left center at night in LA, you've done something.
And now it's Alonso chopping the first one he sees to Tommy Edman. Well, the Mets change the mood a little bit, change the temperature with that swing from Vientos. It's 6-3. The Mets have a little more magic in them, trying to extend this season one more day. Now, the New York Mets have left no doubt. This team plays until the game is over. And man, you look at just having a win on the final day. scored those 6 runs late. The winning home run from Lindor. They beat the Brewers in magical fashion in the elimination game. They top of the 2-seed Phillies. And looking for their biggest comeback yet. Down 3-1 in this series. They've gotten it here to L.A. with a Game 5 win. And Mark Vientos breathing a little bit of life into him.
Yeah, I think that home run caused Carlos Mendoza to go to his closer.
Edwin Diaz and Shohei Ohtani hits a big league pop-up on the first pitch that Diaz throws. Here with his earliest outing since he was a rookie with the Mariners in 2016.
And the reason being the top of the order and to keep it as close as possible. I don't believe he would have brought him in if it was 6-1, but we'll never know. It's 6-3, and he feels like if I can get 2 innings out of him, I've got 2 innings to draw even closer before the highest leverage arms for the Dodgers enter the game.
All about keeping it close here. One of the top relievers in baseball, and Edwin Diaz misses with a fastball to Betts. Finished Game 5 with 6 outs. Needed only 23 pitches to get those 6 outs. And importantly, is the first time this postseason that he hadn't issued a walk.
Yeah, when he's commanding his fastball, it's party over. I mean, he's got the ability to spin it. It's a unique, tighter slider, kind of disappears out of his hand. But that's what you got to be ready for. You got to be ready for 97, top of the zone. Kind of a low 3/4 upshoot delivery.
Betts is 0 for 2 today. Ahead 3-1. Bottom of the 4th inning. Diaz, the 7th pitcher in this game between the two teams combined. Facing the top of the Dodger lineup. There's the walk. It's been the issue for Diaz. That's been one of the big stories for the Dodgers. 3 more of them today. 39 in 6 games in this series. Hitless over the first 6 games was Teoscar Hernandez. 2 for 2 with a pair of runs scored tonight.
Well, the Mets have not done a good job of holding what little running the Dodgers have done. They've had literal running jumps. And Diaz, another one.
There goes Betts' first pitch. Throw from Alvarez. Had no shot. This has never been a strength of Edwin Diaz's.
Yeah, he just has no way of really holding runners with the high leg kick, and look how long it takes him to get to home plate. Even at 97 miles an hour, that can't make up the 1.8 or 1.9, whatever it is that takes him to get to home. And that's 22 stolen bases and really only 1 caught stealing.
Here's a 1-0. Hernandez pops it up. Pete Alonso stares up into the dark sky and makes the grab. 2 away. He did the glove thing again.
He always does. Yeah. That's one of my favorite things.
You're like a 12-year-old.
Yeah,
you're like a 10-year-old trapped in.
Little things make me chuckle.
I see. Well, here comes that man, Tommy Edman. They're saying Tommy Edman for president around here. 2-run double in the first inning. 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. 11 out of 24 in this championship series.
Well, Betts could be taking 3rd base, but I don't know that he will. He could take it at any time because now there's no one that holds him on. McNeil was holding him on the pitch and the at bat before. But if Betts wants to go to 3rd, he can go.
Sends another fly ball to center field, but just missed this one, and Taylor will make the grab. Edwin Diaz, deployed earlier than he's been in years, has a scoreless bottom of the 4th. T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network, as Jesse Winker heads up there to lead off this 5th inning for the Mets. This game has a totally different tone to it after the 2-run home run from Mark Vientos. Jesse Winker has reached 2 more times in this game. Now 9 of his last 13 times up for a guy who in the month of September was 3 for 42. I asked Carlos Mendoza today, how does a guy do that? How do you go from can't get on to can't get him out? And he laughed and he said, I guess baseball. The only explanation for that.
It sure is.
He said too that he saw Winker as the pitchers got better. He faced better pitching, the tougher of an out he was. So he had a good feeling about him in this postseason. And in this lineup that's got Lindor, it's got Alonso with his big swings, Vientos breaking out. Nobody has better numbers overall than Jesse Winker. In an 0-2 hole here against Ryan Brazier. Gets up on top of that ball and bangs it into right for a leadoff hit. Winker's fabulous. Postseason continues.
Well, the offense is benefiting from the amount of times and the amount of pitchers who are in a game. So the longer this goes, the more they see. You just got to give the advantage to the hitters. And this could be one of those games where maybe 6 is not enough. And the Dodgers, and what they have in the pen, trying to hold this lead.
Strike on Marte. Still 5 innings to cover for the Dodger bullpen. You got Brazier right here, who finished off last inning. From there, really 3 pitchers left when you're looking at the guys he'd prefer to use. Hudson, and then the big guys Trinan and Phillips, both of whom, like you've touched on, they think they can get multiple innings from.
Yeah, if the lead is 3 or more, for sure. It's when it gets to 1 that it's resources deployed with no parachute for Game 7.
Yeah. Walker Buehler's scheduled to start. Severino would go for the Mets. Marte swings and misses. Just kind of throwing the bat at that one.
Well, that was what you call an emergency hack, that he was looking for spin.
So rare K for Marte, 1-on-1 out in this 5th inning, and Tyrone Taylor climbs in. Ball 1 from Brazier. Taylor, a local guy at a Torrance High School, grew up a Dodger fan, modeling his game after Matt Kemp, dreaming of one day playing here. Former Brewers minor leaguer, then made it to the big leagues with Milwaukee after 7 seasons in the minors.
You know, there's going to be all kinds of, well, there might be a favorite MVP right now for the Dodgers, but the MVP of the Dodgers has been the bullpen catcher. Do you know how many times he has had to warm somebody up and get people ready, and always constant work in these games.
Fly to right center field. Pages says that he's got it, says back off, Betts, and makes the catch.
I mean, this is a thankless job. You don't usually have to get this many pitchers ready in a postseason game, but this year's postseason for the Dodgers a little bit different, a little bit light in the pitching, and they're going to rely heavily on their bullpen.
Evan Phillips probably ready for if this gets back to the top of the order here at the 8th spot with Jeff McNeil. Dodgers 6, Mets 3. Fastball to the knees for a strike. And McNeil was up there with the bases loaded in the 3rd inning, struck out. Anthony Bonda was able to get him. Tough matchup for a left-handed hitter. Oh, 0-2.
Has a good pressure pitch to put on McNeil, who's really good at the strike zone when he's had a full year and all those swings, but he didn't bite.
Same thing. We got instant replay.
My guy has not had as many at bats, and his timing is off. That's tough right there, and he's had 2 check swings that he's glad he's got another chance to hit with 2 strikes.
32-year-old in his 7th season, Jeff McNeil on a 2-2 pitch. Pulls this one on a line. Right field. Mookie Betts makes the grab. Brazier pitches around the leadoff single. Halfway home in Game 6. MLB Together is baseball's platform embodying the sport's commitment to philanthropic causes and mental wellness efforts by teams, players, and the league. To learn more, please visit MLBtogether.com. Dodgers 6, Mets 3. Bottom of the 5th inning. Dodgers lead this series 3-2, 1 win away from their 4th pennant in 8 years. And it's Max Muncy to start the 5th against Edwin Diaz. Swing and a miss. Took a rip at a first pitch slider. Diaz's 2nd inning of work. Only needed 11 pitches to retire the side in the 4th. Muncy shows bunt. A window into how tough it is for these hitters against Diaz. Got a slugger right here. He's reached base 15 times in this series, but stuff like Diaz's will make you do different things. Pulls one on the ground. A diving stop by Alonso and a high throw in time. Diaz just got his foot there.
Wow, what a great play by Alonso, but the throw floated and almost caused Muncy to beat it out. He gets to the ball and then just kind of throws a little guided toss. Great play by Diaz.
The guy who, of course, missed all of last season with that knee injury suffered during the WBC. Hernandez with one away, swings and misses. He's one of his WBC teammates that he's facing here in Hernandez. On the 0-1. Fastball caught the inside corner. Not necessarily where he wanted it, but he likes the result. Even said, I'll take it. Evans up. The umpire's view. Up there to get a good look. Smiles for Diaz, who blows a fastball by Hernandez. 2 gone in the 5th. For those who might just be tuning in, here's our game summary sponsored by State Farm. Tommy Edman, his 4th career start in the cleanup spot, has driven in 4 with a home run. Will Smith a home run of his own. It's been a rough postseason for him, but a 2-run shot in the 3rd inning. Vientos adds to his postseason lead. 14 runs batted in with a home run. It has the Mets right there at 6-3. Two outs in this 5th. Andy Pages nearly as good against right-handed pitching as he is against lefties. Big reason he was in the game is to face the lefty Minaya, who lasted just 2 innings, gave up 5. Caught it short by Lindor. And so Edwin Diaz into the game, working quickly. Couple scoreless innings, keeping the Mets within striking distance. Welcome back to the 2024 National League Championship Series on FS1, presented by Lone Depot. Dodgers 6, Mets 3. To the 6th inning we go here in Game 6. Dodgers 1 win from a pennant. The Mets trying to force a Game 7. Evan Phillips is on to pitch. 9-1-2, and it's Alvarez over Edman. His tear continues. He's reached all 3 times in this game, and 6 out of his last 7 plate appearances.
Well, that's the pitch that Evan Phillips has the most success against. They're hitting 193 against it, but right out of the gate, again, the Mets putting pressure, getting another leadoff hitter on. Couldn't do anything last inning, but they have the right part of the lineup to do something in this inning.
Yeah, that is why Dave Roberts goes to Evan Phillips right here. One of his top arms coming in. He's hopefully can get a couple innings out of Phillips. Phillips has only pitched 1 game in this series. And in this postseason, 4 games, no runs. Top of the order, Francisco Lindor. Pops it up, shallow left. Hernandez coming on, still coming, gets there. 2 pitches, 2 swings, 1 on, 1 out. And now Nimmo. Evan Phillips, 4th season with the Dodgers. 11 postseason games, he's not given up a run. His first pitch to Nimmo is low for ball 1. Faced 13 batters in the division series this year, retired all 13. But he, like a lot of these high leverage arms, pretty well rested. Roberts not having to go to him. Fell behind a couple times, chose to stay away from his top arms, and hoping that they see the benefits of that tonight. Fully loaded for this Penn game that's trying to take him to the World Series.
So the power on fastballs is middle up. Doesn't slug with the pitch down as much on the fastball down.
That was up, and it was hit up to center field. Pages, 2 out. And it's Vientos. Vientos is the one that threw things haywire in the bullpen game in game 2 with his grand slam, and he's brought them closer here with a 2-run home run, his 3rd home run of this series. First one from Phillips.
Kind of short arms that breaking ball, trying to get it to go right to left, and lateral movement is sharp.
And that's been the pitch that's given Vientos a hard time.
Yes. No clean innings for Dodgers pitchers in this chaos of a game.
Yeah, Dave Roberts knew it was going to be a stressful night. And it has lived up to that. The offense getting the Dodgers off of the hook here. 6 runs on 7 hits, 2 home runs in this game. That's constant pressure, though. Traffic in every inning. Phillips 1-1 pitch. Vientos takes ball 2.
That was the pitch he needed to hit with, because he was an in-between, meaning the hitter probably looking breaking ball. If he would have pounded that for a strike, then it would have been real difficult to lay off that breaking ball, but that ball was low and below the zone.
Alvarez at first, 2 away. Here comes a 2-1. Ball 3. Alonso waits on deck. If he gets up, he'd be the tying run.
Well, if you're Vientos, you got to sell out on a fastball here, and if he throws a breaking ball, well, see the breaking ball or see it in the pattern of the strike zone.
He's walked him, and Pete Alonso comes up as the tying run. Twice this season, the Mets have faced elimination, and both times he's hit a 3-run home run to save them. He did it in the 9th inning against Milwaukee in the wild card round, and then in game 5 at New York against Jack Flaherty. In the 1st inning, another 3-run home run. How are you going after him if you're Evan Phillips?
Well, he's going to throw the power breaking ball, and hope to make that land on the outside part of the plate and get Pete to fish for it.
It was a slider that he hit for the homer against Flaherty. Tying run at the plate in the 6th. Ball 1.
And the more break that Pete gets to see, or the more of those pitches in this at bat, it starts favoring the hitter.
Alvarez at second. Vientos at first. 1-0 to the plate. Ball 2. Winker on deck. Pete Alonso said he's just trying to play like it's backyard baseball these days. Forget everything and go play. Forget the data. Forget the scout. Just go play baseball.
Well, when you face a guy that throws this many breaking balls, you do have to think center to right center. Let that ball get in to the sweet spot of his bat and hit it to right center.
So a lot of his powers come lately. That's 6 straight misses from Phillips.
Fantastic patience and discipline out of Alonso.
Throughout his career, one of the highest totals in Mets history. 4 more in this postseason. Green light if he wants it. Takes ball 4, and the Mets have loaded the bases. Back-to-back walks from Evan Phillips. Tying run aboard. Jesse Winker coming up. Mark Pryor comes out for a visit, and we get a word from Loan Depot.
Over the years, you've built equity in your home, and when you need money for life's necessities, your home can pay you back. Visit us online and learn how you could access $45,000 or more today.
Well, John, and what was a 6-1 game, the home run from Vientos has brought them closer, and they've got Jesse Winker up there as the go-ahead run.
He's been the right man. He's got thunder in that bat, and you know what he's thinking. He's trying to get a breaking ball in the middle of the zone to lift. And, of course, a good meeting here to just say, you know, you may have to trust your fastball at some point during this at-bat to set up your breaking ball. I said to Pete, the more Pete saw the breaking ball, the better he was going to be able to gauge it out of the hand.
Yeah, no lefties in that Dodger bullpen after Bonda, who's already pitched. Evan Phillips, the 5th pitcher they've used in this bullpen game. The bridge, a rocky one here. Bases loaded, 2 gone in the 6th. And ball 1 from Phillips, who's completely lost the strike zone.
Well, part of it's the stress. You're trying to make perfect pitches. You're trying to get swings and misses. You really don't want to land that in the zone. You're anticipating the hitter's going to be aggressive.
Winker's got 2 grand slams this year, and he takes a strike.
And that's what I'm saying, trusting your fastball. He still has a good fastball, and a well-placed fastball resets the mind of the hitter.
One and 2.
So now he can get Winker to chase off that same plane of the height of the fastball. Start your breaking ball if that's where he's going with it.
Popped into left, sinking in a hurry. Teoscar Hernandez is there. The Mets have left the bases loaded. 6-3 Dodgers in a nail-biter here in Game 6. A lot of offense early from the Dodgers in this game. 2 in the first, 4 in the third. Couple runs for the Mets to get back to within 6-3. Rob Lowe in attendance. Or Hershiser, who was the MVP in '88 in the World Series. Dodger owner Magic Johnson. Some other baseball royalty. Dave Winfield here. Ryan Stanek comes into the game. Bottom of the Dodger order here. 8-9-1 coming up. Stanek was huge in Game 5, the longest outing of his career. 2+ innings. Faces Will Smith. 2-0.
Well, Will Smith, good high ball hitter. The ball that he hit for a home run pretty much right down the middle, but you wonder if that gets him unlocked.
Well, the Dodgers sure would love that. 5 out of his first 36 in this postseason before the home run in the 3rd inning. Stanek's 2-0. Ball 3. You wonder, Stanek, even with the day of rest, coming off uncharted territory there, 2 1/3 for the first time in his career. High stress innings in a postseason game. What does he have left in the tank? You can ask that about any guy that comes in at this stage of the year.
Well, especially when you got max effort stuff. I mean, he throws the fastball upwards of 98, and he got that split and breaking ball. So it's not necessarily command as much as effort and velocity.
After the 2 scoreless innings from Edwin Diaz, leadoff man reaches against Stanek here in the 6th, and it is more traffic. We've had just 1-2-3 inning in this game. It was Diaz last inning. 9 pitchers have been used, 5 for the Dodgers. Stanek the 4th one for the Mets. These teams just trying to tiptoe their way through this game 6. Mound visit and a quick word from Evan Williams Bourbon.
Reach for a fan favorite, Evan Williams 1783 small batch. When bourbon's done right, people notice.
The relievers have pitched more innings than the starters have across baseball this postseason. Already seen it take its toll. Several teams, several series. 14 blown saves are the most in postseason history. And still with a World Series to be played. 6-3 game. Out of the visit. Taylor up there squaring the sacrifice with Ohtani on deck. Ball 6.
And you may be asking, what's he doing bunting? Even if he gets it over to second base, they're just going to walk Ohtani. Well, that's how much confidence Dave Roberts has in Mookie Betts batting with runners on first and second, if that's the way it works out. Plus, if a guy's struggling with strikes and you square around to bunt, you're going to know the strike zone way better when you square around.
Lays it down along first. It's foul.
In other words, you're not going to bunt a ball that's out of the zone unless it just eats you alive like that one did right there. So it's not a bad move when a guy's struggling to throw strikes. He sees the bat square around, and it's a different picture that pitchers see rather than the hitter having the bat in the natural stance and seeing the whole strike zone on the plate. You don't see that when he squares around.
And if you're the Dodgers, you're looking at it and saying that Chris Taylor has not hit much at all. How can he be productive for you here? Move a man up. Bunted in play. Alonso goes to second, and the throw's late. Throw kind of sailed on him, and everybody's safe. And now there's trouble brewing for the Mets. 2 on, nobody out, and Ohtani coming up.
Unfortunately, Pete tried to make an impossible play. His momentum was not going to allow him to get much on this throw. And as he sails it up, there is just no way he could see the runner in the jump.
For the Dodgers, setting a record for their runs in this series. 42 runs in this series, and a lot of those, John, have come late. Dave Roberts has been so pleased with the tack-on runs that have allowed him to manage the bullpen the way that he has.
Yeah, and when you're down, you know, the hardest thing to do is sometimes just getting an out is the most important thing. You're trying to make the perfect play, and that's what Pete tried to do. And when it slows down in real time, you realize that wasn't the perfect play.
Strike 1 on Ohtani. Singleton scored in the first inning, 0 for 2 since then. Season of firsts for this guy. First season with the Dodgers, first postseason, and a win away from his first World Series trip. Two on, nobody out. Ohtani swings and misses. Good splitter from Stanek.
See the tumble and the disappearing ball out of a fastball delivery. Hitters will tell you, left-handers especially, hardest pitch for them to pick up when thrown properly.
And that has the lowest average against across baseball this year, that pitch type, splitters. Home with an 0-2. Threw it again. Seeing it make a bit of a comeback, right? It was in vogue back in the 80s.
Yep.
More and more guys throwing it again. Here's Stanek's 1-2. 3 in a row.
But when a splitter works best, again, it works best off the height of the fastball that the hitter saw. When it comes out low like that, the hitter recognizes there's no way that it's going to stay low for a strike. It's going to be below the strike zone.
Here's where Ohtani's been at his best. Clutch spots. Almost got hit. What a catch by Alvarez. Count is full.
Well, when you slip, this is what happens when you throw a pitch.
Shohei Ohtani, 17 of his last 21 with runners in scoring position. Three-two. In the air to center field. Taylor coming on. Can't get there. And the ball kicks away from him. Smith is headed for the plate, and he'll score without a throw. Ohtani is 18 of his last 22 with runners in scoring position. And it's 7-3 Los Angeles.
Well, you got to respect his strength. That Taylor playing so deep. He made a valiant effort to try to get to that ball, but that ball was diving away. A good read by Smith. Once the ball drops, no way they're going to get him.
One of those tack-on runs the Dodgers have been so good at getting in this series throughout this postseason. And they're right at their average for this series. 7 runs here in Game 6. And a pitching change. Back in a moment. Well, John, Carlos Mendoza didn't know if he was going to get anything out of Reed Garrett, who has pitched a bunch lately, but he's pressed into duty right here.
Yeah, his splitter is one of his best pitches as well. Ton of strikeouts on that pitch, and the hitters just don't hit it.
Mookie Betts is up there. Runners at first and second. Nobody out in the 6th. Already a run in the bank for the Dodgers. Here it's first one.
Well, you see the Mets did last game. They scored all those runs. They didn't strike out a single time, which I think is one of the first times ever that has happened. But the Dodgers have done that to them tonight. They've only struck out 3 times. And they put the ball in play, put a lot of pressure on the Mets, and 7 runs to show for it.
Post play there. That was the first time in any game, regular or post, that the Mets had gone without a strikeout in 14 years. And first postseason game for any team in more than 20 years without a strikeout. Really close over there. So he gets the hand back in. 1-0 on Mookie Betts. Again, Ohtani and Betts getting it done at the top of the Dodger order. Together they've reached 3 more times today. 17 times the last 3 games. One.
Whenever you have more 2-strike hits than strikeouts, you're doing something. And that's exactly what the Dodgers have tonight. 4 2-strike hits and only 3 strikeouts.
Manaea didn't have that put away stuff. Out to him. Now working against these Mets relievers. Betts pulls one with a diving stop at third. Vientos finds it and throws to second. The runners were in an impossible situation there, not knowing if he had caught it or not. Vientos able to recover to get Ohtani. 1 out.
The ball hit hard by Mookie Betts.
One of the only guys the Dodgers didn't have going was Teoscar Hernandez. His first 2 hits of this championship series have come tonight. Both of them hit hard. Both off fastballs, and that's what he wasn't able to get to.
Yeah, he's much quieter at the plate and certainly showed for it with these 2 hits.
First and third, one away. He's got a diving catch up the middle from Lindor to rob him of a third hit. Francisco Lindor, one of the best all-around players in baseball, shows off the glove yet again.
I thought live we were up here saying I didn't think he had a chance. What a great play. Last two plays keeping this game from really breaking open in this inning.
Well, Ohtani continues to get the loudest cheers when he's introduced, but not far behind him, Tommy Edman. The noise that he's made himself. 4 runs batted in this game.
Interesting. Sometimes he bats right-handed when there's a split finger or something he can't handle from the left-hand swing side of the plate, but he obviously feels good enough with his left-handed swing to stay in the box.
And that side has taken a lot longer to come around after his season didn't begin until mid-August. Elbow surgery that ended last season and hurt his ankle during his rehab. Didn't play until just a couple months ago. And lately, though, even the left-handed swing has felt good for him.
Well, he's a bat-to-ball guy, meaning he's really going to have more contact than swing and miss, but he's got some power this postseason.
There goes Betts. No throw from Alvarez. See more of the Dodger running game tonight. Third steal. Big spot here for Edman. A run in. Chance for a couple more. Second and third, 2 away. 1-1 pitch. And the dirt ball 2. Reed Garrett, who gave him 51 pitches and 2 games in New York. It's a day of rest. Back out there again. Trying to pitch around this traffic that he inherits. Fires a 2-1 pitch. Edman with a bouncing ball to second. Jeff McNeil will throw him out. Dodgers get 1 and lead it 7-3. Guys putting their bodies on the line with a season on the line for the New York Mets. That close to getting Ohtani. Instead, it's an RBI hit. And after 6 innings, Dodgers 7, Mets 3. Dodger bullpen game trying to cover 9 more outs to get him to the World Series. And it'll be Daniel Hudson here for the 7th. Marte, Taylor, McNeil coming up. Hudson's first pitch is outside for ball 1. First time John He's pitched since game 1 a week ago.
Yeah, he's another power right-handed arm that he's got that great breaking ball coming off a fastball. And
diving stop at third. Kike Hernandez from a knee and a pick from Muncy. What a sparkling play at the hot corner.
That's a reaction, and a great reaction. You're sitting there getting ready, and then boom, ball's hit to you. One hops it. Muncy, no problem.
Hernandez had a couple fantastic plays in the clinching game of the division series, the 9th inning. And you got Muncy over there at first. A rare time there with Freddie Freeman out. Able to get the pick. 1 gone in his 7th, and now Tyrone Taylor. Let's try to get the table set for the top of the order. Running out of chances here. Although fantastic work to get out of that bottom of the 6th inning without further damage by Reed Garrett. Dodgers get a run, but leave the runners at second and third. It stays a 7-3 game. Taylor is 0 for 2. Chops it foul. 1-2. Daniel Hudson, who got the last out of the World Series for the Washington Nationals back in 2019. Veteran comes home. And just misses downstairs.
What a great pitch right there. I think the hitter thought it was a strike. I think the pitcher thought it was a strike. But all the thing that matters is called a ball.
2-2. Line drive left field, base hit Taylor. One out single for Tyrone Taylor. Well, all eyes turn to Big Noon Saturday. 4th-ranked Ohio State takes on Nebraska in a big Big Ten showdown. All starts at 10 a.m. Eastern with Big Noon kickoff live from Columbus, followed by Nebraska and Ohio State at noon, only on Fox. 1-on-1 out. Here's Jeff McNeil. As tough as it is for Dave Roberts to navigate these bullpen games, as high stress as it is, got a lot of veteran pieces down there. There's another base hit for the Mets. McNeil into right center field. Back-to-back singles here in the 7th. McNeil's got his first hit of this championship series, and they just refuse to roll over.
Well, the biggest thing is now with that hit and one more batter, unless this batter hits into a double play, you got Francisco Lindor coming up. And some high stress bullpen action for the Dodgers.
They've got Trinan warming. Francisco Alvarez, who has completely turned a corner in this series. He's reached all 3 times today. He lifts this ball the other way for Mookie Betts. He's going to have room for the catch, but it'll be deep enough to bring home Taylor. It's an RBI for Alvarez, and it's a 7-4 game as the Mets get the run right back.
Yeah, they will definitely trade an out for the run right there when you're up by 4.
So now to the top of the order, and Francisco Lindor. Yeah, we take a look at Fox Foresight, powered by Google Cloud. Well, the Mets have an 8% chance to score 4+ runs, which would give them the lead in this game. That's about the chance they've had to do anything that they've done this year, and they've found a way to do it. Strike on Lindor.
Well, they've been an inch away from really, 16 base runners, but only 4 runs, and that is a credit to the Dodgers getting out of some big-time jams with 2 outs.
Runner at first, 2 away. Lindor smacks it foul, strike 2. We were talking about it earlier, but Mets have had traffic just about every game. It's the biggest difference, though, in the wins versus the losses. Could they cash in once they got them on? 0 for 17 in the 2 losses. Today, 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Walking a single in this one for Lindor. McNeil at first, 2 away. 1-2 from Hudson. Hudson, the 6th Dodger pitcher. Strikes out Lindor. The Mets get the run back. And as we stretch in game 6, 7-4 Los Angeles. 1 win from the World Series. Daniel Hudson gives up a run in the 7th, but he strikes out Francisco Lindor to limit the damage.
Big pitch.
Tom Hanks living and dying with it, saying, I know how stressful this is from my Rockford Peaches days. Watching Dave Roberts try to navigate this bullpen game. 6 different pitchers have held the Mets to the 4 runs, and the Dodger offense has done what they've done all series and put up a bunch of traffic, bunch of runs, 7 of them total. And now we see Kodai Senga, who's been a wild card throughout this series for the Mets. Started game 1, didn't have it. He was, they thought, going to be part of game 5. We didn't see him there. But with them already using their top 2 relievers in Stanek and Diaz, it's Senga here in the 7th. 0-1 to Max Muncy. Ball 1.
feel like this is kind of embodied the year the Mets have had. A little bit of torture in the beginning of the year. Some incredible moments, crazy moments, and it's kind of been this game. A little torture, bases loaded, then a hit, they creep back, and now they're asking everybody.
Once he gets hit, leadoff man aboard for the Dodgers here in the 7th. You're talking about what Daniel Hudson did there to finish off that inning, the 6th different pitcher for LA as they try to navigate their way through this. We go down to Tom Verducci.
Well, for Dave Roberts, it's been there, done that, right? Look at these numbers here. It's his 95th postseason game, and he's relied on his bullpen for wins more than his starting pitchers. Remember, the Dodgers decided early, even before the series began, Joe, they were not going to chase a deficit with their high leverage guys. And that's why people like Blake Trine, you see the bullpen, are fresh coming into this game. This is a franchise known for Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Oral Hershiser, Clayton Kershaw. Great starting pitchers. Recent years, it's been more about the bullpen of Dave Roberts.
Yeah, it sure has, and he's navigated it, Tom, about as the best I've ever seen. With everything that is going on, the pressure, the storylines.
Hernandez on the ground to second. McNeil can't get it cleanly and costs him a chance at a double play.
And everything about, really, from Game 4. I mean, you and I have talked about it. I've never seen, I know it, I've lived it. You can't pay attention as a player to the storylines, but our job is to talk about the storylines. And it has changed so much that there's no consistency to it, and that's why I think the Dodgers have handled it, and Dave Roberts, as well as I've seen.
And, you know, managing each game, we talk about him managing this bullpen game in a vacuum, but managing the series, and he's had to look at it like that just with the way their pitching is constructed. And he's been talking about, we sit down with him every day, and from the beginning of the series, he's talked about this playing out over the course of the series, trying to view it with that lens. And he said it's not easy. It's not easy to sit there like Game 2 and more or less wave the white flag on that game for the chance to have a night like this. We've got all these guys fresh.
But what I've also enjoyed seeing him and the freedom of the organization learning from the past. Maybe things went scripted and didn't change, and they didn't win. Now they're making changes and adapting, and not just really relying so much on this is the way we're going to do it.
Senga to Pages with an 0-2. In the dirt. Kenny.
Well, Joe, you make a great point. It took incredible discipline for Roberts not to chase those victories in Game 2 and Game 5. And frankly, it was not a great look, effectively conceding postseason games. But should they hold on, the end will justify the means. He had to manage this way because he was shorthanded. Shorthanded with his rotation, shorthanded in his bullpen once they lost Alex Vesia.
Yeah, that was a big deal, and you touched on this earlier, John, but Alex Vesia was the guy who gave him the most length in that perfect bullpen game in San Diego.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe if they go on to win this, the time off will be enough for him to get back on the roster.
Pages grounds one foul.
Which I know there's a certain left-hander that plays for the Yankees, left-handed batter that's pretty good.
Is that a Soto guy?
That Soto guy, yeah, it's pretty good.
Game-winning home run in the 10th inning last night for Juan Soto. 7th pitch of that at-bat. His 3rd home run of that championship series. Pages down swinging. There's that ghost fork of Senga. Here's that Soto guy you're talking. This is the one you're talking about, right?
This is the guy.
What an at-bat.
Great at-bat. The moment's not too big. He's already got a World Series ring on his finger, and he's trying to bring one to the New York Yankees, who have the most World Series rings.
41st trip to the Fall Classic for the Yankees. Smith lifts this ball to left field. Right, Nimmo's tracks. And this game goes to the 8th inning. Dodgers 7, Mets 4. Or what the players are wearing on field during the postseason. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, and more at MLBshop.com, your favorite postseason team gear. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, go to playball.org and follow @playball on social media. John, the Dodgers are going to ask Blake Treinen to go 2 full innings for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah, well, this is the setup that I think Dave Roberts would definitely have liked if he asked him before the game. And believe it or not, we got a save opportunity.
First one of this series. 7-4 Dodgers in front. Mets down to their last 6 outs. Strike one on Brandon Nimmo. Best shot right here. 2, 3, and 4 coming up.
Yeah, don't adjust your TV when you see this breaking ball. It really breaks that much. It's like a wiffle ball coming out of his hands.
1 ball, 1 strike. Blake Treinen missed almost 2 full years with a shoulder injury. It's been awesome pretty much all season, especially down the stretch. 21 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings back to August. And there's that video game pitch you're talking about. Strike 2.
It's just tremendous break. And when you have a fastball that goes away from a lefty and a breaking ball that starts outside the strike zone that goes down and into a lefty, that's a lot of break. Hard to stay off that pitch.
The 1-2. Threw it again and struck him out. 1 gone in the 8th.
That's just so much spin. And when you see that tight dot, the hitters don't want to see that. They want to see a big circle. When the seams are spinning and it makes a bigger circle, not good for the pitcher.
Dodgers 5 outs away. Vientos, ball 1. 7th pitcher of the game for LA, Blake Treinen. You run bullpen games not because you want to, but because you have to. And the Dodgers knew coming into this postseason this was going to be their only shot. They were going to have to do this a couple times each series. It can go one way or the other. We've seen that happen. You saw the Dodgers save their season with a bullpen game in the division series. And then you saw game 2 of this championship series. They gave up 7 runs. This time so much on the line. A win, a trip to the World Series, a loss. You got a game 7 you don't want to have to play. The 1-1 to Vientos. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boosted by the offense. 7 runs in this game. So far, so good for the bullpen. Those have been the stars of the offensive show. 4 driven in by Tommy Edman. 2 more for the Dodger catcher Will Smith. 1-2 from Treinen. Back-to-back Ks to open the 8th.
Tremendous break.
Jason Bateman loving.
Fan base is starting to smell it.
Strike 1 on Pete Alonso. And it's just looked nice and easy from Treinen. Looks like a guy who's been here before.
Well, that's what makes him so unique. I mean, he's a big pitcher, but he comes downhill without grunting or a massive delivery, and the ball just takes off. It's all about angles. And in pitching, now what's unique about him is he throws off that third base side of the rubber. For a sinker baller, right? Normally you throw off the first base side of the rubber, but his breaking ball creates angles that are hard to hit for a right-hander.
Ouch. Alonso is spilled there as he fouls that ball off his foot.
And see, that was a perfect example of a 2-seam fastball riding in, and the only place that Alonso could hit that ball was foul or, unfortunately, off his leg. I mean, that is smoking it.
Lonzo fighting that pain, fighting his crowd now.
And they always say pitchers can be mean. When that happens, you usually go back in there. I think he might give him a break and throw a breaking ball here, but when you have that hitter already sensitive to that front leg and that front landing, he doesn't want to see another pitch in there.
So the break would be that video game breaking ball.
Yeah.
Huh? Eesh. Life is tough on hitters these days. Trying to strike out the side in the 8th. He's done it, and he's put the Dodgers 3 outs away from a pennant. The Dodgers trying to make all that early offense stand up. 7-4 they lead. The last of the 8th inning. Kodai Senga's back out there. 9-1-2 coming up for LA. Chris Taylor takes ball 1. Dodgers got 2 in the first and 4 in the third. They tacked on with a run in the 6th. The Mets have just kept on putting the pressure on. 7-4 ball game. Senga's 1-0. Taylor smacks it up the middle and through. Leadoff single for Chris Taylor. But the big blows in this game have come not from Shohei Ohtani, not from Mookie Betts, not from Freddie Freeman, but from Tommy Edman as we look at StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. He had a 2-run double to start the scoring and then a long home run to add on.
He's been the star, man. He has done all the little things, played really good defense.
Ohtani.
Most of the rallies the Mets had going, unfortunately, were with 2 outs. They created rallies with 2 outs, but the Dodgers did a good job at subduing it. 12 guys left on base.
And the way the offense churns these runs out, they just leave so little room for error for the opponent's offense. You have those chances, you got to score.
You do, yeah.
Senga's 1-0. Ball 2. For the Mets in the 9th inning, Winker, Marte, and Taylor due up. Blake Treinen only needed 12 pitches to go 1-2-3 in the 8th. The 2-0. Ohtani takes ball 3. And the Mets been defying the odds all season. They'll try to do so one more time here, down to their last 3 outs, down 3 runs. It would have been just a magical run of a year for Carlos Mendoza. Said it a few times that you could make a book or a movie out of this season. And he'd be one of the main characters of that movie. Steady hand, the steady personality that he's had. Trusting his players when they were 0-5, trusting them when they were 10 games below 500 halfway through the season. And getting them here to the postseason when nobody thought they would. Winning that game 3 in Milwaukee when it looked like they were done. Beating the Phillies, which not many people thought they could do. And the way that games 3 and 4 went, even winning game 5 was a shocker. They got absolutely pummeled. But as has become the identity, they punched back again and got it here to game 6. Do they have one last bit of magic in them? Ohtani trying to make it harder. Second disengagement, by the way, for Senga. Dodgers have run wild tonight. Taylor runs, and Ohtani takes ball 4. First 2 have reached. Who's it going to be? We know the New York Yankees are headed to the Fall Classic for the first time since 2009. Will it be Yankees Dodgers, which was, man, it was like every other year for a while. 11 times in a 40-year span those teams met. Have not met those since 1981. The most common World Series across baseball history. 3 outs away from happening once again.
Well, this series, if you think about a prize fight, the Dodgers have thrown a ton of jabs, and those jabs are all the walks. They just jab, 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 and then they look for the knockout, and they get it. And all those walks just leads to relentless pressure that was put on the Mets pitching staff. It's not a bunch of haymakers. They're not all going up there to try to hit home runs. That's what makes them special. And no matter what they have on the mound, they're going to be a tough offense to navigate for anybody.
41 walks total in this series for LA. Record total. Check swing from Betts. Kind of a snapshot of what it's been throughout this series. Because you get the walks, and then they've hit 11 home runs as well. They've hit once they've gotten runners in scoring position. An offense that disappeared in their early exits the last 2 years has been a complete machine this year. Top of the zone, 1-2 on Betts. And if it is Dodgers-Yankees, you're going to have two lineups that are a lot alike. You got the thump with the star power, but you've also got these at-bats that just grind your staffs down. Count evens 2-2. And Freddie Freeman getting the day off today. What a week could do for his ankle. Dodgers on the verge of going to 3-0 without Freddie Freeman. 25 runs in those 3 games. Testament to the depth of this lineup. Mookie Betts on a 2-2 from Senga. Watches ball 3. Yankees will have Garrett Cole lined up for game 1 Friday night, either here or at Yankee Stadium if the Mets were to pull off a miracle. On a payoff, Betts rips the ball deep left field towards the corner. Nimmo on the run, won't get there. It's off the wall. Here comes Chris Taylor. A double from Betts. Insurance for the Dodgers. 8-4.
That's what they do. They control the count, and then the pitch they get, they take advantage of it.
Well, snapshot of all the dimensions of the offense right there. Works a deep count, and with a runner in scoring position, hits for power. A double for Betts. 9th hit of the series, 9th run batted in. Teoscar Hernandez swats one to right field. Marte's there. Here comes Ohtani. Betts heads for 3rd. They're both safe. And it's 9-4.
The only other team that reminds me of this team that I played against was the 1996 New York Yankees. Unfortunately, Jeter was part of that team, and they had the last laugh, but they did the same thing to a pitching staff. They just made you work and work and work, and they were patient enough to wait out that series and make the starters throw as many pitches as they possibly could to get into the bullpen.
MVP chance for Tommy Edman. Bounces one to first. Here comes Betts. Throw to the plate. He's out. Alonso to Alvarez to get Mookie Betts at home. That was the Yankees team that you guys shut down for 2 games, but then they just blitzed over the next 4.
They did. And the Dodgers, no matter where they play, there's that one, gets a glove full in the face. No matter where they play, they're the same team, so you're not going to be able to expose something. You got to have a great command staff to pitch to the Dodgers. And if there was one crack in what was really good for the pitching staff of the Mets, they led baseball in walks, and that came out in this series.
Yeah, that part of it on paper was a scary thing for the Mets going in. Just the matchup against this patient offense. And it has played out with the Dodgers scoring 45 runs in 6 games, a record for Dodgers in a postseason series, a record for the National League in a postseason series ever. At least 8 runs in 4 of the 6 games. And man, oh man, have they turned the stress dial down for that 9th inning for Blake Trinan and Dave Roberts. Taking a 3-run lead, made it a 5-run lead. On a 2-1, Muncy watches it drop low. This is one of the guys that has embodied that whole approach. He's reached 2 more times today, 16 times in this series. Reaches again. .45 runs, 42 walks taken by LA in the 6 games. And to this point, looking like just too much for the Mets to overcome in a season where they've overcome just about everything. Kike Hernandez with 2 out. Ground ball, base hit to right. Edman turns the corner and comes home. Throw goes to third. Run scores. Muncy safe. Double digits again for this offensive machine.
Hit them where they're not. Wide open that side of the field with the shift on.
That's it for Senga. 7 men have come to the plate in this 8th inning. It's gone from tense to starting to party at Dodger Stadium. Kike Hernandez is tacked on for the Dodgers. 10-4 the score. The bottom of the 8th inning. Andy Pages, the only guy in the lineup that hasn't reached today, takes a strike from Jose Butto. So Butto replaces Senga. Looking for the last out here in the 8th inning.
High.
1 ball, 1 strike. Now the Dodgers have not clinched a pennant at home since the last time they did it against the Mets, 1988. Noah Hershiser on 2 days rest pitched him to a 6-0 shutout, similar to this game. Got a lot of early offense in that game. Fly ball center field. Taylor is there. The Dodger offense that has been the story all season and into this postseason has made things really tough on the Mets with a 3-run 8th. They've started to party. They're 3 outs away from the World Series. On to the 9th we go in Game 6. An offensive blitz from the Dodgers yet again. 10 runs on 11 hits has set the stage for what they hope is a clinch right here. Blake Trinan got 3 outs in the 8th inning. It was high stress right there. The Dodgers getting the 3 runs of insurance and a 6-run lead to the 9th as Kevin Kiermaier comes into the game to play center field. For the Mets in this 9th inning, Winker, Marte, and Taylor coming up. Trinan's first pitch of the 9th is in there for a strike. You know, for years, John, it's been the same story. They dominate in the regular season and some success in the postseason, right? They go to the World Series in 17 and 18. They win it in 20. But especially the recent years, complete dominance in the regular season and then look like a different team in the postseason. And so they come into this year with all that hanging over them like a dark cloud that they've been able to push aside and are now on the verge of making it back.
Well, you know what they would like to answer the critics on winning a full season World Series, right? They had 31 or 32 years they hadn't won a World Series, and they won the shortened season one. This team's built for multiple championships with the signings that they have. And so this is step one. You got to get there, and getting there is not easy, even when you're favored. So a lot of pressure will be taken off of this organization for getting there, but still expected to win some.
Swing and a miss, and one gone in the ninth as Trinan has struck out all 4 that he's faced. Well, for the Dodgers, it'd be a 22nd trip to the World Series, and in more than half of those, it's been the New York Yankees that has stood in their way. This would be the 12th matchup in the Fall Classic of the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees. The first one in 43 years, though, back to 1981. Back when Ronald Reagan was the president. And it used to be a routine thing. They met 11 times in a 41-year span, 1941 through 1981. Dodgers win it in '88. Yankees their run through the late '90s, early 2000s, but then their long drought, the longest drought since Babe Ruth snapped their first one. Going to the World Series for the first time in 15 years. A bouncing ball back to Trinan. Over to first in time, 2 gone. And not just a return of the Dodgers and the Yankees and the storied franchises, but the biggest stars in the game. Shohei Ohtani will go head-to-head against Aaron Judge.
Think that'll be any fun?
Oh, man. Game 1 Friday night. Mets season has been a remarkable one, but it's down to its last out. Ball 1 on Taylor. Dave Roberts, there were questions about his job security if they had an early exit in this postseason. Boy, oh boy, has he navigated his way not just through this game, but through this series. A masterclass in managing. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nothing's been easy for this franchise this year, recent years, really ever. Pushed to the brink again all season. Pop fly, shallow center. Taylor won't get there, and Taylor's got a 2-out base hit. Now in this crowd, and you sensed it a little bit early on in the division series, John, some old wounds getting reopened, thinking here we go again. They've been rewarded. They had the Game 5 win, first time they'd clinched any playoff series in a decade, and an out away from celebrating a pennant at home for the first time in 36 years.
Well, and again, I know the playoff system is the way it is, but they had their toughest opponent first from a storyline in division, team that beat them 2 years ago. All the things that could have gone wrong were lined up for the Padres. Up 2-1 at home.
To second and off of Taylor's glove. That's back-to-back 2-out hits. And it's fitting that these Mets just refuse to let the season come to an end. Taylor's in to score on a base hit from Jeff McNeil, and it's 10-5.
Roberts was probably jumping too to try to get that.
And Max Muncy over there giving Blake Trinan a second to catch his breath. 26 pitches in. Francisco Alvarez, they've not been able to get out the last couple days.
Well, the uniqueness of this journey, once they get the 3rd out, it'll be the first time they go through the Mets, and then play the Yankees in the World Series. So both New York teams in the same postseason.
They've had to do it the hard way, these Dodgers have. As you said, beating the Padres. A lot of people figured Padres were the best team in baseball going into the postseason. Mets forcing this Game 6, having to do it with a bullpen game. This crowd, though, ready to explode, on the verge of making it all happen. There's a bouncing ball to second. Taylor's got it. Los Angeles is alive, and they're headed to the World Series. Dodgers, Yankees in the Fall Classic. Much more battle tested this time around. This Dodgers team pushed all regular season. Wasn't the walk in the park that it often has been to a division title. Calloused and hardened by that journey. They withstand the deficit in the division series. Come back to win that series in 5. They take the punches the Mets give them in this series. Forcing a Game 6. Having to fly back across the country to play at another game. And the offense again explodes, and they win 10-5 to set up the 12th Dodger-Yankee World Series. And in front of their home fans for the first time in 36 years, the final out.
One of the best feelings, short of winning it all, knowing that you're going to get a chance to play for it all. Spring training seems like 100 years ago. You knew what your quest was. You knew the pressure that was on you. And that guy is going to see the World Series.
But Dave Roberts told us the other day that, you know, when they're on the verge of clinching in Game 5, he said one of the first things he thinks about when he thinks about the Dodgers going to the World Series is, I want the world to see Shohei Ohtani on the biggest stage. And Ohtani came to the Dodgers with this in mind. After 6 seasons with the Angels where he didn't play in a single postseason game, he wanted to go to a place where he felt like he had a chance to change that. And in his first season with the Dodgers, he'll play in his first World Series. Down to that celebration we go. Here's Tom Verducci.
Thanks, Joe. Mookie Betts, you're going back to the World Series for a 3rd time. What makes this one special?
Really just each one is special, but this group of guys, man, I love these guys. It's fun coming to work each and every day. It's fun battling. I mean, it's just fun, man. It's really just fun being a Dodger.
This team scored 46 runs in this series. No team had ever done that in the postseason. That's a statistic. You tell me in words how this team is playing offensive baseball.
I mean, we're just sticking to the plan, and we're executing. You know, it makes it a lot easier when our pitchers are putting up 0. So we really got to give those guys a shout out because they make it easy on us.
And now the Dodgers are playing the Yankees in the World Series. We've seen that happen a lot, but not in your lifetime. What does that opportunity mean for you?
I don't know what it means yet. I think I just got to get in it and see. I mean, it's kind of what the people wanted, you know, and it's what we all wanted. I mean, it's fun. It's going to be a battle of 2 good teams, a lot of long flights across the country, but that's what makes it fun.
We are all looking forward to it. Congratulations, Mookie.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now over to Ken Rosenthal.
Thank you, Tom. Shohei, this is your 7th Major League season. You signed with the Dodgers because you wanted to win. How would you describe your emotions now that you're going to your first World Series?
7年目でドジャースに来た理由もその勝つためっていうことをおっしゃってたんですけども、やっとワールドシーズンに勝っててどう思いますか？
本当に楽な試合がなかったというか、初戦からここまで本当に全員の力で素晴らしいゲームだったなと思います。
There are no easy games. We played this, postseason, and we really played well as a team. I'm glad that we were able to pull through.
Thank you. Shohei, how long have you dreamed of playing in the World Series?
シーズンプレーしてみてどうでしたか？
僕がずっと出たいなと思ってプレーしたいなと思った場所なので、今この瞬間からそこを目指して、あとそこを勝つだけだと思って切り替えて頑張りたいなと思います。
It's the place that I've dreamt of playing all my life, and to be able to finally come to the stage and be able to, play and hopefully win it is my next goal.
Shohei, finally, how much are you looking forward to playing against Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and the Yankees?
ジャッジ、ソト、ヤンキースの選手と対戦できるというところでどう思いますか？
素晴らしい球団だっていうのは間違いないです。素晴らしいチームですし、一人一人、今名前が出た選手以外も素晴らしい選手ばかりなので、本当にこれからも全員の力で頑張っていきたいなと思います。
The Yankees are a really good team with a lot of good players and really good coaches. I'm really looking forward to playing against them.
Thank you, Shohei. Thank you, Will Ireton. Joe, back to you.
The Dodgers are hoping, Kenny, that guy could help get them over the top, and he certainly has. After they fell to the Braves in the championship series in 21, the division series defeats the last 2 years to division opponents, the Padres in 22, the Diamondbacks in a flash last year. But they figure it out this season. They move on to their second World Series in 5 years, their fourth in the last 8 years. And for the first time since 1981, John, can I interest you in the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees?
We're going to have to work hard to find storylines in this World Series. It's going to be great.
First time since 1956, you'll have the home run champions facing off in the World Series. You got to go back to Mickey Mantle, Duke Snider, and another one of those Dodger-Yankees World Series back in 56. Go back down to the field with Kenny.
Thanks, Joe. Teo, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Your first World Series.
Yep.
What's going through your mind?
A lot of emotions. So grateful to be here. I don't get tired to thank God for this opportunity that He gave me to be a Dodger, and to the Dodgers too, to bring me here and trust and everything that I got and everything that I can do for the team to get us to this point. I'm so glad, I'm happy that we go to the World Series, and a lot of things going on right now, but so grateful.
The Dodgers have overcame a lot this season. You had a bullpen game tonight. You had to play without Freddie Freeman. What is it, Teo, that is so different about this team?
I said it always. We stay together. It doesn't matter what we have to do. Freddie has to talk to the manager and say if he's not ready to compete 100%, to put somebody else. He knows that he is better when he's 100%. That he's not going to help us the way he helped us throughout the year, and he just sacrificed himself to put somebody else that can do not a better job, but can be 100% healthy and be back on the field. And he's been resting. He's ready for the whole. He's gonna be ready for the whole World Series.
I'm sure you are too. I remember the last time you were at Yankee Stadium this season. You went nuts. Joe, back to you.
Hopefully we can do the same thing.
All right, Kenny. Yeah, Teoscar Hernandez as early as coming out party was against these Yankees back in June. So the Dodgers are headed to the World Series for the fourth time in 8 years. Got the presentation of the hardware on the other side of this break. Game 1 of the World Series Friday night, right back here at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers and the Yankees, how good is this going to be? Two baseball titans facing off.